Well, let's see if that's going to work. Okay, so as the title says, right, you know, look at that, nothing on the wrist, right, you know, the Russians are coming. Right, what I'm going to have a look at, these here are Slava tank autos. Now, I rebuilt both of these. Right, it's the first two movements that I successfully have like repaired and put back together. And as you can see, now this one here, the day wheel slipped after I put it all back together, and like, you know, I just can't be bothered to take it apart. So, you know, but I'm very pleased with that. Right, keeps extremely good time. There we go, look at that. That is a very, very old Soviet watch, that is. Right. There we go. There's this one as well. Now this one, the automatic works doesn't work. Like, there's something wrong with the wheel, so I've just got to change over the automatic works to the wheel. Everything works, day. As you can see, it's the same again. This one's got a slightly different buckle on it, or clasp. And there we go, Slava tank autos. Both keep very good time. I've got a third one in the works, but I'm still like regulating it. It's not staying. What's the word? It's still losing about a minute a day. So I've just got to tip it up a bit. This is a project. This is a GDR, German Democratic Republic Saxon. Like, it doesn't work. If you it'll work for a couple of seconds, and then, like, you know, it'll just stop. So it's obviously bound up somewhere inside. So that will be something that'll be coming back. Here's another project. This is a Cornervin badged Rakita UFO, which it's allegedly to have been serviced, but like, I got it for such a silly price, I think about £8. Like, I'm going to have a crack at it. If I could do Slava twin mainspring works, I should be able to do the single mainspring work here. So that's a project in the go. Now what we have here is one of my grails. This is something I've been after a long time. It's a Soviet. These are a collaboration to try and, like, you know, catch in on the quiche of Sovietness with the Americans. And so they were mainly sold like to the Americans, like, you know, and they had pole jot quartz movements in. Well, this one doesn't. Look at that, it's even got the Soviet badge. Like, you know, the only thing that's missing is the tag. Now there you go. Look at that. And this is a very unusual brass cased one. Somebody's had a go at the back on it with because they couldn't get the back off, because it's actually a snap case back, not a ring one, but it looks like a ring one. So of course they had a go at it, so it needs to be polished out. I love these Soviet designs. I think they're brilliant. So I've put it on a NATO, which is a bit silly really, because like the Russians would never have used a NATO. Here we go. What do you think of that? Don't that look the business? So, and that thing there is what they call a canteen crown. Like, and there's a big argument between America and Russia who invented the canteen crown. So there we go. We have the Russians up and gone. On to the next. Okay, Now here we have, like, this was supposed to have been done like the end of November, but I became very ill in December. My kidneys failed, and like, you know, I came very close to death, and I've been recuperating ever since then. But these are my 3 deadly sins from AliExpress. Now what we have here is something called a Tacto. A fake Invicta. And an extremely good Butlins belly tanker homage. So, first of all, let's have a look at this is a Rolex Submariner in rose gold. It's got very nice clasp. Like it's got a nice level of gold, rose gold plating. It is really, really nice. But I don't like wearing it for some reason. You'll see why in a minute. It's got a keeper, so it all locks into place. It's got like a black dial. It's got the coffee and coal bezel. It's got a nice clicky bezel. It's not too much back slot. It hasn't got a screw down crown. I should imagine it's probably the standard Chinese 3 atmospheres of water resistance, if it's got any. I suspect that's mineral glass crystal. It's got a very nice date window there, and it's got really good lume. Right, the rose gold is on the markers as well as on the hands, and it keeps a very good time. It has got a quartz movement in. Now in the kit you get bracelet adjuster, warranty card, and a tag with a Tacto on it. So I mean, you know, no, I paid £18 for this. I think that's not bad for what it is. I mean, it's a very good looking rose gold Submariner homage, and it hasn't got a stupid name on it either, like, you know. So lume's not that much to write home. I'm not going to be doing any lume shots today, but like, you know, I mean, yeah, and I mean, the one thing that it really, really does do well, look at the, between the, the lugs and the lug ends of the bracelet. That's absolutely smooth. Like, you can see the gap there, but it's really, really well done. So, you know, so there you go. There's the Tacto. Now we got this. I bought this on a whim because I love ugly watches. Look at the state of that. It's got Invicta branding on it, except it hasn't got Invicta branding there. I'll show you what I mean by that. Here is a real Invicta. As you can see, it's got Invicta down the side. My Russian diver. Right. It's got a it is a working chronograph. It's a high hand one. It's a standard tick type. It's not something to write home about, you know, but it does work. See? It is absolutely huge. It looks like there's like a bracelet fitted to the lugs. It's not. It's like all one casting. This is something that's designed but that, you know, how outrageous does that look? That does look incredibly outrageous. You know, it's got a domed crystal. It's got some lume on the hands. It's not very good. I mean, it does the job. You know, it is what it is. It's a fake Invicta, which is ironic because Invicta made its money from like doing fake Submariner homages. So there you go, Invicta S1 chronograph, but that chronograph does work. Now, here comes, I'm surprised with this. Now I'm going to put a picture up in the inset, like, you know, of a real one. Now, okay, the real ones are made of bronze, and that's just like a shiny gold. It's like a shiny off gold, if you know what I mean. It's got a 22mm lug width. It's a 40mm there. I don't know. I never measured from, like, you know, lug width to lug end to lug end. It's got a single dial chronograph, and it's got a 24-hour sub dial. It's got a working chronograph, and it does get around to doing it. There we go. Now the buttons are not screwed down like the original, but they do look like they're screw downs. But as you can see, press stop, goes round slowly, and there you go, it goes back to its parking space. And when I first got this, right, I had a few problems with it not going back. It kept going back to the 11 mark for some reason, and I'd set it correctly using the what's it, with the crown out in 2 positions, like, you know, and I used it to, like, you know, everything like that worked, but it just, and it's even got the little, like, delta wing on the second hand. And there you go, that is the Bell & Ross belly tanker homage. Now this cost £22 off of AliExpress, and I wear this quite a few times because it does look very good. I can't afford the real one, it's about £4 worth of watch, but there you go. So, is that the last of the AliExpress? No, it's not, because I've got something special. You're going to like this. Sterile harness. This has got a GMT. It's got a very nice date window. It's the Batman bezel. It's got a very nice clicky, not too much back slop on the bezel. It's got, like, if you look at the picture, I'll put it in the inset of the real thing versus this. It's got the same sort of Jubilee. Is it Jubilee or President? I can't remember. All solid links. It's screw links. It's got a milled clasp, as you can see. It's got push buttons, which are also milled. I don't know if you can see that, push buttons. It's fully automatic and full GMT. And there you go, look at that. Now, you know what I was saying about, like, on this, how well the lug ends were done, right, on that bracelet. Can you see on this, right, you know, there's like a millimetre drop, which is a shame, because, like, you know, it actually doesn't look very good. Oh yeah, it's got sapphire crystal as well. The date lens is sapphire. It's got a screw down crown, which is unsigned because it's sterile. If this wasn't sterile, it would have a signed crown. So I've come late to the harness Batman party. But look, I got this for, what's it, for 20 quid, right? Virtually unworn condition. And for a tenner more, the seller offered me this. A 1960s Smith's. This is not Smith's Empire, this is the proper Smith's watch, right? You know, in absolutely perfect condition. I mean, it's a bit diminutive because obviously it comes from the 60s, but, like, you know, I love that. Like, for a tenner, like, you know, I wanted a decent Smith's, and this is the one. Yeah, I haven't wound it up because I want to keep it, like, you know. So there you go. I thought 30 quid for those 2 watches was absolutely brilliant. So there we go, that's the AliExpress. let's move on to the next. Now, before we move on to the Japanese market, let's have a look at this. Timex. It's not actually a Timex. This is a Benrus Sovereign Electronic from 1976. It's dated 1976. Right, bit fingerprinty. I've put it on a 1970s. This one cost me a bit of money. This did, because this is a really good version of the bracelet, the gold bar link bracelet. This has been absolutely brilliant. Look, I mean, you know, I haven't had to worry about this at all. It runs on a decent battery. Now, when it turned up here, it wasn't working. Just wouldn't like respond to the battery. So what I did was I went at it with this stuff. I don't know if you can see that there. This is Holt's electronic circuit board cleaner, and I gave it a good clean, and it hasn't stopped since. I mean, this watch is nearly as old as me, and look how clean and exquisite that is. Now, it says it's electronic. It is electronic, but what it is a hybrid. I don't know if you. It's actually a electromechanical hybrid, in that it's got like a little electronic board in there that operates like kind of something that kicks the balance wheel into operation, and then it waits for it to stop oscillating and kicks it again. And it does it, like, you know, precisely. Like, so this is actually, it's very similar to like the Seiko versions of this, or the Luch 3056 electromechanicals. And there you go. And I mean, it really is, like, you know, I'm really pleased with that. And this one, like, you know, the bracelet it was on, like, you know, was pretty manged up, like, you know. It wasn't like all the gold plate was peeling off and that, so I went and bought, like, you know, this one, which just works. It's just brilliant. So 1976 Benrus Sovereign Electronic, and that is like kind of like one of my pride of my collection, if you know what I mean. So let's put him back to bed. Right, so I thought I'd bring those in, and what we'll do then is we're going to have a look at the Japanese. So see you in the next bit. Okay, let's move on to the Japanese, the Seikos and stuff like that, right? Now then, I got this for an absolute song. I paid £30 delivered for this, brand new. It had never been opened. This is Lorus. It was so nice taking all the plastics off and everything. It's got a K-bar adjustable, what do you call it, bracelet. Alright. It comes, if you look in there, it's got like spare links, tag, recommended price, instruction manual and everything. Alright. A little cushion, a little bit of foam to keep it all, like, you know, all nice and neat. You can see that. Now, I think £30 delivered is very good going. I haven't set the date up on it because obviously I've not, I mean, it take me forever to, like, you know. Now it's got a movement in there. It's a 7S26C, which is the modern and all the last vestiges of the troubles with the 7S26 is taken out, and is considered a very reliable competitor to the 4R36, which is very similar, which is another automatic movement made by Seiko. This is pure Seiko. Like, there is a Seiko version of this which has virtually the same dial, except it doesn't have the yellow markings between the 9 and the 12. And on the Seiko one, it's just got a yellow dipped tip. Second hand, this has got the lollipop with a pointer, all yellow dipped. It's got very, very good loom. All the numbers are loomed as well, date. Right, and if you look on here, it's even got display case back as well. A bit mucky. Oh, there you go. Lorus. It's called the Y676 movement, but it is a 7S26C in what we would call Seiko terms. Oh, I think that's really well made. Like, it's got a engraved clasp, no sign in there. It's got Lorus there, and you know, it is what it is. It is a bloody good beater watch. So that wasn't the only new Lorus I've got. I'm not going to go too much into this one because I picked up this for a £5 off of eBay. This is Day. What's it, Lorus? It's a VX43 movement in there. I mean, if I need, it's got like on a canvas strap. It's brand new. Like again, like I took all the plastics off of that. So what have we got next? Here's a fix. Pulsar fridge, I suppose you'd call it. Right, I fixed that one because it's got like, it was absolutely smashed up inside. It's got fast top seconds, and it's got like normal seconds at the bottom for like on the chronograph. Stop, reset, bosh, keeps very good time, and it's a nice big Pulsar. So there you go. I think that is a VD57 in there, not sure. It may be a VD57. That's a Lorus. What am I talking about? It's a Lorus. So I beg its pardon. Still in the Lorus frame of stuff. How about that? Now I call this my Lorus Kinetic Fusion, the Blake 7. Because if you look at the, you know, you could have it like that. It's a Starfleet badge, or the Blake 7 logo, or the Dunlop logo. It's got like a really funky solid bracelet. I've had to put an extender on it, because the person never, didn't give me the missing links. So there's a little bit of brass bleed through under the chrome, and the crystal is absolutely knackered. But this is a kinetic, and it's got a display back as well. Look at that. And it is really a nice wear. I mean, you see people when you're like putting stuff into like, you know, the checkout in Asda's or something, and people check it out, like, you know. It's got a very funky dial design. So, and I didn't just get this one, I also got this one. Right, now I thought this was just going to be a black version of this. It's not. This one's got a plastic case. It's horrible. It's very light, but the movement and the dial and that are the same. So what I'm going to do is I actually need, for another kinetic, I actually need the second hand. So I can get my Pulsar military kinetic working again. So have I got that to hand? Yes, I do. Yes. This one here, this one hasn't got a second hand, so I'm going to take the second hand. I'm going to break this for spare. So I've got then a spare YT57 Seiko movement and dial hands, whatever. Like, you know, I paid £5 for this. You know, I don't really care. I mean, the movement alone is worth, it would cost me a hell of a lot more. And this one works very well, keeps very good time. If you give it about like a minute's wind, like it will go on for about 6 hours. Same as this one. This one will go on like, you know, just on like, what's it, a few seconds of wind, will go for ages. So I don't need to change the capacitors in these. So, let's put this over here. When I get some more links for this, I'm going to take that extension off, but that'll be when I get some more links for this. So, what do we have next? Another Pulsar. Let's have another Pulsar. I can't show you this being worn because it's too small. It's missing a link. And I don't like it. So, I mean, I actually have got another. This is a YM62, which means it's got an alarm. And, like, you know, it's got chronograph. It's like a high hand chronograph, as you can see. Ticks at the top, quite quick tick. Resets, nice and quick. It does the job. But unless I can find I only need one link, but it's too tight. And it's got like the Pulsar there. It's a shame, like, because I quite like this, but I've got something better that this will go into. Here's another repair. Unfortunately, look, the chronograph has stopped working on this, so that's a bit of a bugger. Like, but what can I do? But I'm not going to do any more with it, like, you know, because like, I keep buying these movements and stuff, and all I want it for is I don't want a chronograph really. So I've got one of these spares in bits at the moment. This is currently the most expensive watch Pulsar set. 250 quid itself up. Right, let's stop bringing them up. Right, okay. Alba, subgroup of Seiko. This is an Alba. I can't remember the movement. Like VX42, Seiko VX42, sapphire crystal, russet gold dress watch. This is still quite current. Like, you wouldn't believe, I won't say how much I paid for this, but let's just say, like, you know, 3 pints of beer's worth of money, and that was mine. Absolutely brilliant. Look at that, done that little business. It's got signed buckle. Right. It's a shame it didn't come with a box. That would have really made my day. But I don't really care. It's not Lumi bright, so there's no way it's not going to be doing anything there. What have we got next? I've had this one a while. Got this just before December. This is a 6309 Seiko automatic, which I've set wrong. You have to excuse me a minute. It's a day. Oh, let's have a look. Here we go. Got like a class keeper there and everything. There we go. It's a 1970s watch. So it's got a nice free moving rotor. It keeps good time. You stick it on your arm and it will like stay telling time until you take it off your arm. It's got nice power reserves, about 12-hour power reserve if you've worn it for 24 hours. I think that does quite well. It's a TV. It's the last one I've bought in the Seiko grade in that department. It goes to join all my other like what's it, 7009s, and like, you know, this is, it also means it frees up my other 6309, which I've showed before. so that I can, where did I put it? Where did I put it? Ah, yes. Because I have got this. This is a Seiko 6309 diver's encasement, which means that the other Seiko 6309, which has got a good movement in and everything, all I've got to do is get a stem now. I've got the hands on I've got the hands on their way, I've got the movement, I've got everything else. So I just need that, and I've put the crown. It's got a screwdriver and crown. It's got a case back. So that will be a very nice one. So we've got one more Japanese to show. Just making sure it's still going. Yep. Ah, look at that. Upside down Citizen ProMaster. Now I got this for a song as well. I think 20 something pound. This is like, you know, Citizens, like, you know, top of the range stuff. Right, it's got a very strange bracelet arrangement, so I've stuck it on this 60s rally bracelet, and you know, it all fully works. It's a dancing hands watch. Right, it's upside down. It's got a working bezel, very nice bezel. Quite stiff bezel. Like I say, it's a dancing hands watch. Is it upside down? The only thing is, if you look on the bottom hand, the hand's missing a bit. If you watch, there she goes, dancing hands. It's a bit stiff from lack of use. It's got chronograph, it's got two alarms, it's got a countdown timer. I mean, it is very sophisticated. Right? I believe this was 1990s. I put the bracelet on the wrong bloody way as well. But it was such a pain in the ass to get it on. It really was. Like, you know, I'm just going to leave it. So there we go. Citizen ProMaster. There he goes. Right, let's go on to the. Oh, I might as well just chuck it in on the last bit. Right, you know, because there's no point in like dragging it out just for one more watch, which I've got to show off. I can't remember what this one's called. This one's called a fast track. I thought this was quite amusing. It's got a 22mm lugs. It's got like a funky crown up here. It's got like date wheels in the little window, and the big window is the seconds. So I got this on a whim because I quite like the look of it. It's got a nice strap. The strap actually came off the belly tanker, would you believe? Here we go. So there we are. We are all up to date. So I'm going to take this to the post-processing, and I will see you on the other side of the video.